In today's video, I'm going to talk about that dreaded hump you sometimes feel in your horse's back. You know, that moment where your horse is totally not okay with something and they're feeling like they need to get the heck out of there. So your only two options are to either fix it or to hold on when they start bucking and potentially get hurt. My name is Brandy, and this channel is all about real life situations and experiences with horses. I'm going to tell you a little story of what happened with Blossom and I tonight and how I handled it. Blossom has only been ridden out by herself a couple of times, and when I have, she's been very, very good. No issues whatsoever. But tonight, I made it a little bit more complicated for her because I brought along Nakona. And Nakona really has a hard time being away from her buddies. So basically, here's what happened. I'm at my parents' house, so I get on Blossom and head down the driveway. We have to go across the road to get to our trails. By the time I got to the end of the driveway, Nakona was back here at the trailer losing her mind. She was very upset that her friend was leaving. There's other horses around, like cute little tiny Toby. But all these horses around, Nakona's still having a fit because her friend is gone. So that really started to bother Blossom. Even though it's never been an issue for her before, she's wondering why her friend is back home having a fit. So we kind of snaked it down the driveway. You ever have a horse that really kind of wants to turn around so they're all over the place? So we worked on that all the way down the driveway. So we get to the road and she stops dead right in the middle of the road. And that's when I feel her back is up. You know what I mean? So you'll be on a horse and you'll feel their back just lift a couple inches. That is the pre-signal to the buck, okay? So if I would have just put my legs on her and sort of spanked her forward, what would have happened is she could have gone straight up in the air on me. We would have had a rodeo in the middle of the road. And that's the last thing that I want to deal with. So here's how I handled it. When I felt that hump come up in her back, instead of bumping her forward, I took a hold of one rein and just kind of bent her nose around, okay? And you'll hear some people call that lateral flexion. So that's what I was looking for out of her. And basically that just makes it so she's not going to explode on me, or at least it won't be as easy for her. And then I took her nose around to the other side and got her till she was relaxed. Then I made my way back over to the grass where if she did decide to buck and I came off, I wasn't going to land on the pavement. So while we were in the grass, I worked her feet a little bit and went to ask her to go across the road again. And she was very hesitant still. So what I decided to do is get her back to a place where she was comfortable, and then I decided to get off of her. Now, the reason I got off of her when I did, and not when I first felt that hump in her back, is very important. If you were to jump off of a horse as soon as you feel something not going well, a lot of times what that can do is make it so the horse learns that that is the correct answer, okay? So with this particular horse, I know her well, and I know how she is, so it wasn't that scary of a situation. So, but there's some situations where you might be on a horse and it gets very scary very quick. So since I got her off of the road and got her comfortable, that's when I decided to get off of her, and I knew that Nakona was going to continue to be a distraction for her. I typically ride with a Makati rein, which has a lead rope attached to it, so I just hopped off of her, grabbed my Makati, and I walked across the road and down the trail, and she followed behind me. Now, she was still pretty upset. She was prancing along a little bit, kind of swaying back and forth, calling back to Nakona, that sort of thing. So I just kept walking, and I kept her manners in check. So she could be as upset as she wants to be, but she still has to have manners. So I kept walking down the trail until I noticed the change in her expression. Everything about her changed, and she's like, okay, I'm fine with this now. That's the moment that I got back on her. So we went probably a quarter mile, I would say, and which is no big deal to me. I know that I got to do what I got to do to keep my horse comfortable and to keep me safe. So I got back on her. She was a little hesitant to go forward once I got back on her, but the location that I was in, I was totally fine with putting my legs on her, giving her a tap on the butt if I needed to, and sending her forward, because that's absolutely necessary. So that's exactly what I did. Now, to keep her engaged and focused on our job, I went ahead and trotted her. So we got a nice medium trot going for quite a ways. It really, I feel, gets a horse's mind engaged and gets them focused and really on task for what you're asking of them. And the rest of our ride was absolutely lovely. I think she called for Nakona one other time, but it was no big deal at all. Gosh, the sunset is coming up right now. It's so beautiful. So now what I want to know is, leave me a comment below and let me know if you've ever been in one of those situations where you feel your horse's back hump up and it's kind of that calm before the storm. I want to hear those stories. Tell me what happened. Tell me what you did to fix it. Tell me what went wrong. I'd really love to hear all those things. Also, I want to point out my new shirt, Student of the Horse. And I want to say that if you're interested in getting any Versatile Horsemanship merchandise, you can find that on my online store, which is located in the video description below. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.